Penetrate the lane like Steve Nash, pass like Jason Kidd, handle the rock like Allen Iverson. Remember, I said I want to try. That, of course, is from the great Chris Paul, one of the great quotes we attribute to that man, also known as CP3. Happy 35th birthday, by the way. You are one of the all-time great point guards, and you don't get the credit that you are due. You are top 5 without question. I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people throw Magic and Oscar and Isaiah and Kuzi in that conversation. Here's the issue I have. None of those guys have made an All-NBA first-team defense. CP3 made it 7 times. 7 times he was All-NBA defensive first team. And all those guys I just mentioned, the Magics, Isaiahs, the Kuzis, never made it once. But when you look at CP3's offensive game, he's just 1 assist per game behind Magic Johnson, who is by far the greatest passer in the history of the NBA. And CP3 is 1 assist per game shy of that. He's 1 point per game shy of Magic. So he's way above him defensively, and he's a smidge below him offensively. And this is the greatest point guard to ever live, that being Magic Johnson, and CP3 is right on his doorstep offensively and leaps and bounds away from him defensively. What does that tell you? We know he's 7th all-time in assists, he's 7th all-time in steals, so he gets it done offensively and defensively. Now, many people can say, well, he washed up pretty quickly. No, he didn't. Not even close. In his 15th season, this season, he is 18, 7, 5, and 2. 18 points per game, 7 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game, 2 steals per game. Look, the numbers are what they are, but it's amazing that no one else is putting up those numbers. No one else is touching what CP3 is doing in year 15. The Thunder moved and traded Paul George and Russell Westbrook away, 2 top 10 players in the league. They take a guy in his 15th year, bring him to the Thunder, and they're better than they were last year. What other player goes to a team in which that team had 2 top 10 talents removed, you come in without any other talent, without any all-stars to be fair, and you get better? They won 60% of their games last season. They're winning 63% of their games this season. Let's just think about this from one quick perspective. The Rockets are the only team in the NBA right now with 2 MVPs, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. Both those guys are still very much in their prime. Chris Paul, without a single all-star on the Thunder this season, is ahead of the Rockets with his squad. His team is superseding a team with 2 MVPs, and he has no help, and he's in year 15. Sekou Smith is a guy that I have a lot of respect for on NBA.com. His MVP higher rankings look like this. Giannis, number 1. LeBron, I'm going to get my fingers up so you can see it. Giannis, number 1. LeBron, 2. Chris Paul, 3. That, many people didn't have him even being an all-star this season. So it's phenomenal that this guy is going to be an All-NBA first or second team selection. Now, the last thing I'm going to say in Chris Paul's defense, everyone says, well, he doesn't win. That's the knock against Chris Paul. He's great, but he doesn't win. That's not true at all. When he was with the Pelicans, 3 of the 6 years, they made the playoffs. You look at what they've done the last 8 years, they made it twice. He gets to the Clippers. Now remember, this is the Clippers. They were in Los Angeles 27 years before Chris Paul got there. They made it to the playoffs 4 times. For you mathematicians watching right now, that means just about 10% of the time in a league in which 16 teams make the playoffs, you get in about 10% of the time. That's what the Clippers were before CP3 got there. He gets there, they make the playoffs 6 straight seasons. Coincidence? I don't think so. James Harden has been with the Rockets since 2012. He has made it to the conference finals once. The reason? Chris Paul. Chris Paul gets hurt in Game 5 against the Warriors, a Rockets team that looked like they were on the mountaintop of getting to the finals and they were a hamstring away from getting there. Chris Paul gets hurt. The Rockets lose Game 6, Game 7. Don't stand a chance after that, and we know the rest is history. So let's think about that for a second. Chris Paul's with the Pelicans. They win fairly amount. He leaves, they don't. Clippers lose all-time like numbers in terms of losing. 4 out of 27 seasons, you make the playoffs. Chris Paul gets there, they make it 6 straight. Then you go to the Rockets, you get them further than they've been the last 24 years. You leave there, they're not the same team. You got to give Chris Paul his due. His attitude, his will, same thing as attitude, but attitude in terms of the ability and the desire to get better. The will meaning he doesn't back down from anybody. And then the mental aptitude, the emotional intelligence, the mental intellect to be able to make adjustments during the game. That's why at 6'1", he can make 7 All-NBA defensive first teams, as many as Dennis Rodman, the greatest pound-for-pound rebounder and defensive player this league may has ever seen. Let's give Chris Paul his due. Do I have him as good as Magic? 3-time MVP, 3-time MVP Finals champion, 5-time NBA champion? I don't. Do I have him at the Oscar level? I don't. But there's never been a player that's been able to play as well defensively and offensively and win at the same time at a level to what Chris Paul has done. CP3, happy 35th birthday. Now, I want to get your rankings. Where do you have Chris Paul among the all-time great point guards? Number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to know what you think. Comments below. On our comment section, The Good Shepard. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for watching. Up next, you know I am going to talk about another great guard, but it's for a very different reason. And while he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, the guy I'm going to talk about next, he may not even be as well known for that as he is something else. You make sure you stay tuned and make sure you subscribe.